Good morning. We are in Las Palmas. I guess Las Palmas, Gran Canaria, which is one of the set of a few Canary Islands. Spanish-governed islands, I would assume. But I do believe that it is. But interestingly, they're out in the northern Atlantic off the coast. The continent of Africa, kind of a little bit away from Spain. Interestingly. Temperature, the weather's beautiful. Temperature is not real cool. And we are going to get out and go see the city. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it was. It really is. But there's like we had in Malaga. I still didn't pronounce that right. Or Barcelona. They got city tour buses and stuff. Just walk around, go see it's pretty cool just to go see the local fair, man. That's what it's all about, you know. You get to see some cool stuff. Sometimes you meet really nice people. At least we're hoping that's the case here. You know, there are times, not often, but times you get off these boats, people can hit or miss, you know. I don't think that's the case here. We've had some good experiences in Spanish areas here, really good people, and hope to have that in other places that we hit. So, pretty cool. But you see the mountains back here. Sorry about the ship mast. But out here is the city area. We're going where my hand is, that direction. There's a roadway. Doesn't look to be as far, maybe about the same distance as we were in Malaga. So I have no clue what cruise line it is. It's a big boat, but I'm going to assume it's a European cruise line. Maybe German. I don't know. Mindshift.com, Mainshift, MEINSCHIFF. Just got to Google that one if I want to. But I'm having some coffee. I get myself up. I was up playing some hands of poker. Not spending a lot of money. Very interestingly, I've been playing on the same $300 or $400 that I've had for the last few days. So, like as I said the other day, I'm sure I'll be ponying up a few hundred more here if I choose to. But I'm not getting crazy gambling a lot. We got a lot of days left on the ship, and it's just not something some of these people are just spending gobs of money. It's just not my thing. Looks like some bicyclists heading that way. I'm going to assume they've rented bicycles, or they're heading out on an excursion of some sort. They do have those. So, we got Tenerife tomorrow, which is really close to here, another island of the Canaries. And 2 days at sea, we're in Tangier, Morocco. The ship has never been to Tangier, so never been to Morocco. That'll be an interesting experience. And the passengers asking the crew things about Morocco, they can't answer. They don't know. We've never been there, which would make people nervous, but Carnival knows what they're doing. They aren't dumb. They know. And they would stop here if they didn't know, you know? They wouldn't. So, any of these places I've said before, anybody will say it to you, and not just me. Not telling you something miraculously new. Just always keep your wits about you. It's like it in America. Anywhere you go, in most respects. But anyway, let's see what we can get into today. I'm having some coffee. I'm going to get my butt woken up a little bit here and do it. Now, I don't wear wristwatches. It's just not my thing. Hell, I don't even care to get a Apple Watch, even though if I had a need to do it, I would. It's all good. But that's the only point of what I'm about to mention is that today is a case because we're an hour earlier and your phones don't change over unless you have a plan internationally that you can turn your phone on. But be that it may, no matter what, always Get you some inexpensive digital watch or whatever you prefer. It doesn't even have to be this. Choice is yours what you pay for it. I don't care as long as it works. And this case happens to be a little Armatron, and I don't care. When it came to, it was like, this is not a men's that I ordered, but I'm not going to wear it, so I don't care. It's just the timepiece. The point of this, and I could actually more than likely take the band off of it, but there are times I would hook it around a bag of some sort. This is where you want to set this to ship's time. There's a lot of places you go to always, they tell you to be back on the boat at 5:30. It's not 5:30 local time, and I think in this case it's going to be, well, it might be in line because the ship's time went down, and we're down an hour earlier from back up in Spain where we were, and we're going to go back up an hour going towards that when we pass Morocco, so just have to adhere to it. But no matter what, I've been times like when you go down to the Caribbean, you go to Mexico, time goes in an hour or two. Sometimes ship's time, a lot of times if it leaves the U.S. port, at least in most cases it was years ago, ship's time is always the time that of the port it left. Now when you go over to foreign countries, time changes, the ship's time changes. Like we went to Bermuda, when it changed, I think down an hour. I know it was down an hour because we're going west from the East Coast. And you get the point, but this is going to make sure that you know that you're back by ship's time. Just a little tip. And I'm going to get myself ready and go see the local fair, my friends. Should be nice. Alrighty, where do we go? Arrow Show, City Center that way. Centro de la Ciudad. Gracias. Now, this is a German ship, and it's not a port call. It's actually a embarkation. I'm not exactly sure where they're going, but and the famous whale tail. So I am seeing off in the distance, it's like one of those hop on, hop off bus routes. We may do that today, but what I do want to do is we get to city centers. You know me, like I said a while ago, I like a good cup of coffee. I do believe we're going to see what the Gran Canaries offers on that. Pretty sure they're good in Tenerife as well. Go for a walk because I need it. Yeah, get myself rocking. And I need to see what Las Palmas has to offer. So according to the PDF I got, somebody posted on the Facebook group, which is pretty cool. People are always really good at doing that, some people who have been there. I'll tell you exactly where to go, pick up a bus, go see the city, and hit the spots. I mean, a lot of these stops you don't really always need to hit an excursion. It's not big enough. You really get a good idea of the local fair, so to speak, that local, see the city. It's like it wasn't allowed. It was actually pretty cool. It really was. Some people are funny. This British guy walks up to me, asks me about the bus. He's like, in fact, this gentleman right here asked me, and he's like, I told him what the bus pass cost. He goes, what the fuck, they ticket us to France? Could be, you never know. There you go. So we're taking the bus. I got off at stop 6. It's like the old area of Las Palmas. And there is a cafe here about as good as I can see. Momento Cafe. I bet they got a good cup of coffee. We're going to hit it. This would be pretty cool. We're going to try this. This is so cool. So, I'm told it's the best coffee in Las Palmas, and I'm taking her word for it. This is so cool. Let's just put it on YouTube. I'm going to tell everybody on YouTube you have the best cup of coffee in Las Palmas. That we will. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you.
Yes, you're welcome. So I want it authentic, and I'm getting it. This is pretty cool. I don't know what this is, but God, it's good. It's an olive bread. I think it's tuna. Ooh. And we're going to have a Americano black cup of coffee with real cream. Yeah. Basically, it's like a tuna salad sandwich. It's some egg, tomatoes. Oh, it was incredible. It's an olive bread, and I can guarantee you the bread is a hell of a lot better quality we have in the States. It looked just so good. And I can't eat a lot of bread, but here, I would be more inclined to do so. So if you're in Las Palmas in the old district, it's a Momento Cafe. Very small, but that's the norm here in a lot of European countries. Man, what I just had probably been about $16 or more in the States. And we're talking about a damn good cup of coffee. And that sandwich was amazing. Absolutely wonderful. That's what you do out here is you hit these small cafes. And local people, local business. It's so cool. It's a great bus ride around the city. It's about an hour and a half unless you stop, which is fine. You can stop anywhere. Most buses, usually at each stop, are about 30 minutes apart. So you can spend your time, just watch your time. But what I recommend you do when you get off the ships or coming in is take this city tours bus. It's $25. You get a 24-hour pass. Ride the whole city. You go where you get some beautiful views. Hits the highlights. And then you'll find where you want to get off. And I'll tell you that Vugete district is where the old historic is where I would first recommend you stop where the cathedral is, where that cafe I hit was so good. But you got a market center over there, and you can walk around there. And you got a few other places you pretty much do what you want to do. I think what I'm going to do here the rest of the day is maybe wander around off near the cruise ship with some side streets carefully and see what I can do. But it's been nice, man. The people have been great. And what I've noticed is that you just kind of get out of Barcelona and hit the Canaries, hit Malaga and some of the smaller places. But if you're in Barcelona, there's a high-speed train from Barcelona where to get to Madrid, I think it's a 7.5-hour drive. You can hit it 2.5 hours. And there's another one, I think it takes you to Portugal and the other coast you can do too. But, they have those trains over here, which I wish we had in America. It's pad to the bone. And I think one day we will. But there's a lot of cool things to see. I don't know why they picked this city in particular, but they said that Las Palmas is about the size of San Antonio, Texas, which is a pretty good sized city, but this the city is a lot bigger than I thought it was. It's pretty cool. Much bigger. But that city sightseeing is the best way to start, unless you're on an excursion. But on the excursions, you just can't stop and get on and off all you want. That's a good way to do it on your own. See this place. That's how you do it. Another pig's leg. It's crazy. The one thing I'm not used to here, and I feel bad because it's a kind of a language breakdown too. And when you go into Dunkin', you want an extra large or a grande, a verde or whatever it is at Starbucks, and you get little tiny, and I like bigger, larger, more, like yeah, and it wasn't too much bigger than the cup they gave me. What I thought was they were giving me one of those little tiny, what do you call them? Not espressos, I don't know what they are. I was like, I trying to figure out what it is that I'm getting. I don't know. Rush hour traffic in Las Palmas on a Monday afternoon. City Beach. Oh man, well I can definitely give you my take today on Las Palmas. I think it was nice. It really was. Not such a huge area where there's a million things to see. But there's a lot of historical things, and there was one thing I didn't see. I think it's like a Christopher Columbus museum. I think it's here or Tenerife, one of the two. But you know, if it's what you really want to see, it's there. But we covered the city on that bus. I think it's cool. You get on like it's Spain. They're all over. Barcelona and Malaga and here and Tenerife. You've got that city tours bus. I'm pretty sure there are probably in other parts of Spain. You can see the highlights, and then when you just ride around, you have a 24-hour pass. So you just ride around and go, okay, where would we want to stop? We'll come back to it. You've got the day to do it. You can stop, get off for a while, get back on. Buses run every 20, 30 minutes. It's not really that big a deal, but I will say so far the people have been great, and some of the food places and coffee's been amazing. I mean, they don't mess around with the coffee. It is strong, but it's also very good. It's very well-made coffee. There's no joke on that. Not that other parts of the world they don't, because I can tell you the Dominican was great too. I toured that coffee plantation, and you watch that video, it was pretty cool. And it wasn't one of the largest plantations, but man, that coffee is good. I've got 3 bags of it, and I've still got about a bag and a half left for an order more. So not gonna buy any here or anywhere because don't know what I could get on the plane back home. You know, I don't want to do all that, and I'm not all that concerned with it. So, you know, I'm the kind of guy that someone's coffee's coffee, but I do know the difference between a good cup of coffee and a not so good cup of coffee. So I do know that Folgers is just not the way to go, nor is Maxwell House or that cheap stuff. You know, just basically what I said on my last video on that. Go watch that. What the guy told me, it was crazy. But we're going to be running pretty slow here tonight. Things got a little rocky and rough coming out of that harbor in Las Palmas. All those waves and stuff was crazy. The boat was swaying pretty hard. It should get smoother. We're going to be running so slow tonight because it's only 75 miles from this island over to Tenerife. So, you know, the boat's only going to be moving about 6-8 miles an hour before we get there. So, do the math, I guess, on that one. It's less than 10 miles an hour, I can tell you that much, but we'll get there in about 10 to 12 hours. So, that's just what it does that when you go to the Virgin Islands and stuff too. Of course, it kind of goes further out because St. Thomas to like St. Martin's not that far at all. It's nothing, and you just go out because they want you to gamble, or it's a minimum time they can only come into port without getting charged more port tax and fees. So just going out and going around, and because they could cut straight across, and they don't, they just don't do it. But anyway, Las Palmas was great, and I would recommend it. I would. I mean, there's another. I haven't said anything on this trip yet, but I said I'd never come back. But, it's worth the trip. It's been great so far, I'm telling you. That indeed it is. And with that said, we'll see you in Tenerife. Thanks for watching.